as he poisons up the enemy queen, since he's got 3 more poisons to use. I guess if you can't bring freezes and stuff, just poison up the enemy heroes to slow them down. Let's see the plan of attack with no Grand Warden here. Wait a second, 3, 2,
No way.
1.
No way.
Welcome back, my friends. We've got a fun match ahead of us, but let me introduce you to the one and only Itsu, who is joining me for this match here today. And Itsu, you weren't able to join for the previous season, but I'm so happy to have you here for this one. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here, and thank you so much for the invite. I mean, that was going to be a nice match with this new pick and ban system.
So let's go ahead and reveal the very first ban. Fatal, Al, and Stormbreaker, they were the very first pick, which means they have the first ban. So let's go ahead and reveal the first ban that's not allowed in this match, and it's gonna be a rage spell. So no rage spells allowed here, Itsu.
I mean, that already is a huge... I mean, that will be really tricky to overcome in the attacks, right? Like, a lot of things are relying on that.
The next item that is not going to be allowed here today is going to be the Eternal Tome. Of course, right? You got to see this coming, Itsu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for a couple of other like spells and as well equipments.
The next band coming in from Masked Synthe and Mammoth is the invisibility spell, of course, right? That is absolutely going to be predicted. Now we go back to Fatal's team and their selection and what they are going to be banning, not allowing here today, and it's going to be the freeze spell there. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, the more I think about it, it's the crazier how much we rely as an attacker on a few things. If you remove those, it's like, oh, wait a second, what is left strategy-wise, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love it so far. Freeze, Invis, and as well the rage spell all gone.
Fatal and his team have one more ban coming in. And here we go. What is their final ban of this match? And it's going to be the Earthquake spell. Because in theory, the Earthquake can factor in lightning spells, and it can also affect the Fireball.
Yeah, that's true. The Fireball with that is as well, not off the table, but way more tricky. I would love to see, personally, a Fireball with lightnings or something like that. That would be so cool if someone would pull it off.
So the final pick for the bans is in here. And the selection is going to belong to the Overgrowth spell. You're a little confused by that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so many spells. I would have expected something like, I mean, the Blimp can be really strong. The Blimp can always save attacks, but maybe they're just saying, hey, we removed so much by now that we need to have as well something left to triple, right?
Now we jump over to pick number 1 for Fatal's team. And their pick is in. And what they are selecting, they will be bringing here today. And that is gonna be the Rage Gem with the Grand Warden, which means now Mask's team will not have a Rage spell or the benefit of the Warden's Rage Gem.
That's a really smart move. I mean, there's many strong equipments in my opinion. I would rate, for example, the action figure really highly as well. But the Rage Gem with having the Rage spell removed, as you said, that is smart, yes.
We're going back to Mask's team and what they have selected, and let's reveal the pick. I'm really curious of what you're going to think about this one, Itsu, because it's going to be the King's Spiky Ball. What do you think about that?
Okay. I'm again surprised because I feel like, I mean, what strategies really use the Spiky Ball now? Especially, we have to consider this is in the regular mode, right? So, like, there's some equipments and some strategies which are not as powerful. Like, the combination of Spiky Ball and Snake Bracelet is not as crazy. And the Earthquakes are removed. So, like, doing a crazy Spiky Ball into the core of the base is not as efficient. So, I'm surprised that this is getting picked so early. It's not a bad equipment by any means, but having it so early is, yeah, surprising.
It is surprising, but now we go with pick number 3, which is their second pick here. And let's reveal that pick that they're going to be taking for Masked Synthe and Mammoth. And it is going to be the first troop off the board, the healers here, Itsu.
Yeah, I can understand that, especially not just for them to use, but as well just getting rid on the other side because they have the rage gem. They can still pull off like a Warden charge or something, at least to some degree. But without the healers, that's not possible. So I feel like that's more about denying this troop than actually picking it. As well, since we have like still some picks left, I would like to see something like wall breakers. I think that would be really evil. Or poison. I think those two are on the table, which could be, yeah, that would be something I would go for, I think.
Okay, well, let's reveal now. Fatal's team has 2 picks in a row. Pick number 4 is in here. And their pick is, I see the strategy, what they're going for. They're looking to nullify the Warden because they're going the healing tome there. So there's almost like really no effective Warden abilities left for Masked Synthe and Mammoth.
I feel like the strongest other Warden equipments you left would be the Fireball, right?
Yeah.
Like you would need to be a little bit, I don't know, creative on how to really utilize that. But I'm not sure if the healing tome would be my pick. I'm really not sure.
And let's get pick number 5, their final pick of the 3. It's in. And they are going the route of a skeleton spell. And the last pick is here. Let's go ahead and reveal it. The last pick picked by Masked Synthe and Mammoth is the poison spell.
There we go.
Poison spell. You predicted it there. And yes, so no poison for Fatal's team, which means they could decide to put some crazy CCs. Granted, you could bring an Electro Titan, you can bring a Valkyrie that could kind of help, but you can't bring a poison if you're on Team Fatal.
I would have liked to see maybe like a wall breaker, a dragon or something, because especially if you have the plan of like removing the poison, you want to remove as well troops which don't need a poison. Dragons are one of them, right? Surprised by the picks, but the bans are, they are really, really spicy.
And we are in here, my friends, as Al is in with the very first attack, and he is bringing dragons. There you go. Okay.
I mean,
yes.
I told you the dragons with the clone and everything. So yeah, it's kind of what I was expecting with like everything else removed from the table, and now they're just trying to make sure that they're getting the blimp as close as possible. I would expect Yetis being in there, and then he clones it towards the town. That is what I would assume here.
Yeah, we does have that Warden healing tome. Oh, we have no Eternal to protect that blimp as he... Yes, indeed. The triple clone... Wait, oh, it's not Yetis. It's cloning up the balloons out of the blimp there.
Yeah, that's even better because remember, the rage was banned. So having the rage up Yetis from the blimp is not a thing. So yeah, that's actually a really, really smart move with those cloned balloons. And this so far looks really solid, right? With the push here going on. He has the king ability, so it's a lot of power on the back end.
There is a lot of power there, and he had the revive onto the minion prince in the core of the space. The queen is still pushing her way through, trying to stay alive as that rage up on the defensive side from that rage spell tower is going to go down from the minion prince, but the minion prince, I think, he already came back to life with the phoenix. He revived him, so that is why he won't come back a second time. But with the king's ability, with the giant gauntlet, he doesn't have too much to push through here.
Yeah, this looks really, really... Oh, king! There's a wall opening. Go around the corner.
King!
As soon as the scatter is gone... Okay, he's moving around. The queen doing her favorite thing. But that compartment should be cleared, and this should be the first 3-star.
Oh, this is going to be a 3-star here. The normal mode, taking advantage of the picks and ban selection and taking the base down. And these players, you know, they can try to come in with strategy of trying to bait a certain attack, and all it takes is one attack to mess up, and you can lose this war. But ow, what a great way to start it off. And now Hawk is in here, and Hawk, aka Mammoth, and let's see the plan of attack with no Grand Warden here.
I just have to accept to some degree somehow that we have such a base here. With the double rage, everything stacked in the core. I feel like we're back at Town Hall 15 again. Like, it's kind of crazy. And we have actually the queen charge.
So I'm gonna tell you something, Itsu, here. While this attack is going in, Fatal sent me a direct message saying that this base was specifically designed to try to stop a queen charge attack, just like this, because of the picks and bans. So he's running this base specifically because of how they drafted. We'll see.
Yeah, But I feel like this is not the classic queen charge, right? Like
Yeah.
he's bringing 2 recall, he's bringing
true. That is true.
3 poison. Like what is the plan with that? Does he want to? He wants to poison every defending hero and even more.
Yeah.
So this is a crazy setup, and I think I'm surprised to see so many revive spells because I think it's no big surprise within the community. But I'm not the biggest fan of that spell, to be honest. I just think there's many times better options. But I can totally see when you're so limited with like other spells that at some point you have to use something, and that's why it's used here.
Yeah.
And arrows are going to the queen. Actually, I don't think that is planned.
No, he did not want those to go after the queen, as he now sets up the push in towards the core of the space. And no Grand Warden, because almost all of his abilities were taken away from them. So let's see. Charging right on through the court, the double rage in the middle is going to be a lot of damage. But a beautiful minion Prince Frost to slow all that down.
I mean, that's the danger of having everything stacked together.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh lord, that ability right there was money. In combination with that king equipment with the Gauntlet and the Rage Vial, that king and the mini prince can take down a lot of buildings, and the queen can reach everything as well at the same time, right? Or can she? No, she can't because of one tile.
Yep. That queen just out of range there, but he does have 2 revives. And let's see, does he decide to use it onto the king to come back to life as the mini prince continues to stay in air and picking things off slowly.
Taking things off. Now we have Sneezy.
Yeah.
Here to take down the scatter most likely. This is not looking too bad if he can overpower the backhand, and he still has those revive spells.
He does. Those 2 revives, 2 rocket loons. Gotta time it perfectly. Let's see as he continues through 32 seconds. There's a revive of that in the mini prince to follow behind the rocket loon. The monolith locks onto the giant, and there is the royal champion coming back to life here.
Oh god, this is going to be so close. Everything is about this finish, and he has only so little seconds left. The queen is going down.
Oh no. Come on. 10 seconds. Can he move through? Literally one attack that may not get a triple could cost ya. Ah! Wait a second. 3, 2,
No way.
1. What?
No way.
No.
Oh
Shot.
my goodness. 99.9. It could not get any closer than this.
Stormbreaker, let's see what you got. Your teammate. Oh my god, the arrow flew so quick. And wait a second. We got dragons again. Dragons was the planned attack for L. Dragons is the planned attack for Stormbreaker here. And I was going to say, like, can you get a 3-star from the response into getting a 99% 2-star on your defense? Well, let's see as Stormbreaker's pushing this blimp to the core.
Yeah, I think they really did not think of this dragon approach with their bans, because, I mean, that was just the one main thing. And especially now with the town hall not exploding anymore, those balloons typically can get so much value, but the town... That was not even close. That was not even close. Okay, the town hall going down, but the balloon's not really surviving, and he's still going against the sweeper at least a little bit.
Yeah, that sweeper is pushing him back. Still has the minion prince ability. He can get a brilliant ability off right now. Yes, there it is. To hit everything in the core to slow it down. But things are starting to fade away. The queen stopped by herself down to the bottom side. She is dying off, and I don't know about this. I think this is going to be a defense here.
Yeah, this is actually looking really good for the defensive side. I mean, the Giga Bomb is now going to take down the minion prince. The Grenade Trap is triggered. That's, I guess, a positive note. But those dragons are not going to make it that far, especially with more and more traps popping up. Sneezy is trying his best to support, but there is so much base left here, Carbon.
There is a lot of base right there. Remember, this is a double elimination tournament. So if you were to lose, you still have another opportunity. But it's always harder coming from the lower bracket to try to make it to the grand finals and force a bracket reset. We always talk about it for the golden tickets. You always have that chance to try to make that comeback. But in reality, we know that it's going to be almost impossible. It just feels so tough to do, unless you're Navi, right? Of course, they love going through the lower bracket and making their way through. But 89%. Okay, you know what? Getting the percentage up here for Stormbreaker. But if you don't get that triple, you need to hope that your defenses shine, because it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that's for sure. And one thing I want to mention, since the last dragon is still like getting another building up, I feel like the giant arrow in the beginning, since we have like, a little bit missed it, since he was so quick, I think he missed the sweeper, right? Because he went with the giant arrow through the core, and there was the sweeper still alive pointing into the direction of the dragons in the beginning. So I feel like that was one of the deciding factors why he failed this. As long as he didn't like get like 2 air defenses or something, which he aimed for. But I believe he went for the sweeper, and that has really cost him for this attack.
And now Mask is up. And what is his choice of action? It is some witches. No Warden as well. So a second attack without a Grand Warden.
I mean, they came really close with their first attack, but it will be, again, one of those crazy queen surgical charges to some degree, and then a hero dive again. At least that's how it feels like. It is going to be this time around with the action figure and the magic mirror and no frozen arrow like with the last time. But he's as well using an ice golem to keep that queen at least a little bit protected in that first place, because remember, no invis, no freeze, no rage, no safety.
No safety whatsoever. So let's see, as now sends in Rocket Loose to the top side. The Bat Spell trying to provide distraction as he poisons up the enemy queen, since he's got 3 more poisons to use. I guess if you can't bring freezes and stuff, just poison up the enemy heroes to slow them down.
It's really interesting. I would have expected maybe to see some other spells and maybe use a headhunter or something then for that, because he has 4 headhunters as well. I'm just like, what is the plan with all of that? You can't poison headhunter everything. So yeah, at least the mini prince funnel at the top side looks really gorgeous, and then the next step is for the archqueen and then the king dive, I assume.
Yeah, possibly, as we're seeing the minion prince still slowly move through that top section. Another poison spell on the defensive minion prince to try to pick him off. No, the minion prince is slowly going down to the scatter shot, and now we have a siege barracks being placed to the left as he's trying to send the P.E.K.K.A.s. Looks to go into that spitter there.
Was that planned? I'm not sure about this. Queen has to pop her ability. The P.E.K.K.A. are not doing that crazy of a job because they were just melted. Was this supposed to be a different siege?
Oh, I don't know. We're gonna see. They did revive the minion prince, which then finished off the multi on the top side. The queen is dead, but does he end up reviving the queen? Let's see. As now the king, or headhunters, a bunch of headhunters actually coming to the top side. His king also is moving through there as ice golems are coming out of the defensive CC.
Oh no, I think this right now looks really, really terrible for him. This would be not easy to recover because he still has to get to the town hall. He's now taking the risk and adding the royal champ early, relying on that king. He has the rage and gauntlet combination, which is not bad whatsoever. But I mean, there's so much on the back, and I feel like he just has to get the percentages at this point.
Yeah, he's got to get that king to the town hall. Make sure you secure that with the revive and 6 rocket loons left. But you know, with the normal mode, it feels like almost anything's on the table. It feels like things still have a chance because the heroes are that much stronger, as rocket loons are trying to sneak their way into the bottom set, but still hanging on to that revive. Hang on.
Yeah, the revive.
Wait a second.
Is it actually going to... I mean, time again. He is at 20 seconds.
They're
They're really taking their time.
The queen...
He cannot reach the last compartment.
Oh, he can't. Oh, no. The king comes back to life, but he gets stuck on a wall. And unfortunately, he's definitely not going to have enough time with the monolith and multi still standing. And it is a 2-star here for Mask. 93%. And there's only been 1 triple so far. Fatal is up, and let's see his attack. It's gonna be the Root Riders and some Velks, a couple druids, a revive, some skeleton spell, and a good old level 1 recall.
Level 1 recall, yeah, that's that's crazy in this economy. Like, what is happening there? What was there for no? I was about to say, was it for a flame flinger, but it makes no sense to then keep the mortar alive, and as well there's a ground expo right behind, so let's see what the concept here was. But that's something which I like, is you have now this plan B healer. If the other team is banning the healer, you have the druids. They're obviously different, like mechanic wise, but they're still giving you some type of healing. But what he does right now, I love it. Take a look at this Dragon Rider on the left. That is so genius.
Yeah, sneaking this Dragon Rider in to go into the Ricochet Cannon, into this Ground Expo to help remove that. as we do a furnace to the top side of this base. Skeleton spells distracting the monolith, sending in the king and the siege barracks with the Electro Titan to path their way through the top with the queen and warden all working together, and might as well send in all their troops as they're all pathing through.
Now it's to the Root Riders to somehow stay alive. The question now is, can they stay alive without this Eternal Tome? He has only 3 druids, which are already like, what is it? Nearly turning into the bear form, which means there's no more healing there.
There isn't the healing, but getting the benefit of the Warden healing tome, taking advantage of that, moving through these walls with the Root Rider, trying to continue to keep him through. The Giga Bomb awaits as he still pushes through the core of this base.
Pushing through, but there's so many compartments locked behind this core where he cannot reach. The X-Bows, the Inferno Tower, the multi-arch towers, everything out of reach for his troops. And that is right now a really serious problem. I mean, he says the one revive, but that's the problem of the revive. You're getting your hero back, the Royal on the far right side, but you really need that tanking or something because you don't get the ability back or something like that.
It doesn't, but the king comes back to life here. The Royal Champion still staying on the outside, moving through. A 3-star here locks it up, but if it doesn't, gives Mask and Synthe a chance. And look at that. The heroes are staying alive. The Giant's still there. The Royal Champion moves through, and Fatal keeps... Oh, wait, the RC just barely stays alive and is going to power through there. Wow.
This looked so rough in the core, but the king tanked for so long. I mean, that is really something which you can only see in the regular mode, right? Like the heroes overpowering the backend like this. And I mean, that was clutch. With 15 seconds left, he should have no problem. The Rage Aura of the Warden coming in clutch for sure. The Rage Gem, not just at the beginning, but as well on the back end, giving the power to his troops. That was a crazy move. Especially, I love the beginning with the Dragon Rider.
And the one and only Synthe is up for the final attack. And let's see his plan of dragons with 11 lightning spells.
What is... Okay. Sweepers are gone, and as well the Monolith and one of those bitters. But setting up the funnel with the Archqueen as well, so that's a heavy commitment. But where is he going to enter with those dragons? What do you think?
Well, I would say, let's see, if he's funneling to the left, the heroes are going to the top side. Would he send maybe the Royal Champ to the bottom side and dragons in between towards the Ricochet Cannon? And, okay, yeah, he is sending the dragons where I thought they were. But I was thinking maybe send the RC to the bottom, as now the Ice Hound can freeze up this section here.
The Ice Hound is a really nice freeze in that location for sure, but there's a Super Dragon in there, and that can be really frustrating. And especially remember, there is no Warden in this, which means no Life Gem, no Rage Gem, no Eternal Tome, no anything. And he has to overpower still a huge backhand with that Giga Bomb in there as well. Yeah,
the Giga Bomb standing next to the defensive king, but the Yetis do secure the Town Hall. Dragons continuing their way through. Has an Inferno Dragon left to use, as the few of them are off to the right side, but one Bat Spell remains, with the Queen and Giant clearing the air defense at the top side. Drops the Bat Spell. These Dragons are looking to try to stay alive, and I think he's got it. Synthe, the Dragons.
That looks so good. I mean, with all of those X-Bows took round, that was for sure really nice for him, because I mean, there's little to no damage, but that has to be the biggest overkill of this match, right? Do I remember this correctly? We have like 4 dragons, 3 Inferno Dragons, and as well a hero alive. Well done.
And with that, Fatal, Storm, and Owl advance to round 2. Up next, Kingsman, Ochoa, and Emron versus Cronos, Riqirez, and Teemper. The Twin Hogs here.
4 earthquakes, which could be like a quadquake or a crazy fireball.
1 building away!